Let me know if this sounds familiar. You have a goal and you're all sorts of excited and motivated, and then you fall back. And then it's the New Year's. Hey, new year, new you. Congratulations. And you fall back. Inspirational YouTube video, great music, great visuals, and then you fall back. Great TED Talk, super inspiring, and then you fall back. See, people typically just fall back and settle into their idea of normal. Let me ask you a question, okay? Let's say you're used to making, let's call it 50 grand a year. You're used to making 50 grand a year, and then something happens, and all of a sudden now you work at a job where you're making $25,000 a year. How uncomfortable would you be? You would be so motivated to change everything about this situation. You couldn't see straight. Actually, I went through the same situation when I was in college. I did like after school drama programs, and I actually started these things. So after school drama program and then a summer arts camp. And as I was doing these things, a lot of times it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 to 15 bucks an hour. Okay. So I was used to making 12, 15 bucks an hour. I graduated school, and then I did my first semester of student teaching, which is basically slave labor, which we should examine, by the way. But when I started working in the corporate world, my first job in the corporate world, I worked in inside sales, and I made $7.50 an hour plus commission. $7.50 an hour plus commission. Now, I'd been used to making 12 to 15, and now I was at $7.50. How motivated do you think I was? Super motivated. And I wanted to change everything. I wanted to change everything about my situation and work hard and add value to the office. And wouldn't you know it, in just a handful of months, I got to the point where I was able to make what I was used to making. See, if you're always settling back into your idea of normal, instead of setting goals to be motivated, what if you just raised your standards? Instead of trying to reach the ceiling, why don't you just raise the floor? Because if you raise the floor a little bit and you've got a new standard operating procedure for how you roll in life, well, anytime you fall below that, you're going to find all the motivation that you need. And quite honestly, until you raise the floor, there's no way that you're going to be able to hit some of your goals. I mean, let's take marriage, for example, right? If you've got a goal of having a really healthy and awesome and thriving marriage, but you haven't stopped dating other people, well, that's going to be a problem for you. That's going to be a super awkward situation. Oh, what are you doing this year? What are your goals this year? I want to have a better marriage. Oh, great. What are you doing on Friday? I'm going on a date with my girlfriend. I'm sorry, what? What on the planet are you talking about? There's no way that's going to work. See, once upon a time, that would have been great. Oh, you're dating other people. You're seeing who you connect with. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to date anyone else. I'm just going to focus on this one person. That's a great accomplishment. When you're dating, when you're married, if you haven't raised your standards, there's no way you're going to be able to hit your goals. If you're trying to be an all-star athlete and you're kind of base standard operating is, showing up to practice most of the time. You only work out when the coaches are yelling at you. How are you supposed to be an all-star athlete if that's your floor? Well, what if you raised your floor and you started actually showing up to practice early and on time and working really hard and extra workouts when no one else is even looking? See, that's how you actually move forward. If you work somewhere and you start at 8 o'clock and you want to move forward, you want to make more money, you want promotions, and you show up at 8 o'clock and you're still tucking in your shirt and you're barely getting there on time, well, at least I'm there. At least you're there? That's your floor? That's your standard? At least I'm there? See, if you want to move on in life, yes, absolutely, goals are important and you got to know where you're going. Yes, absolutely. You need to know what you're trying to accomplish, but if you don't change your standards, there's no way you're going to be able to move on. In your current pursuit, here's what I'm going to recommend. Find someone that's succeeded in what you're doing and ask them, hey, what were some basic things that you were doing all the time to really move forward in what we're doing? And all of those things are probably going to be new to you. So here's what I'm going to say. Don't make those new things goals for you. Make those new things a floor. Make those new things a new standard of how you operate and how you proceed in life. Because even then, when your standards are still productive, well, you're going to be able to move forward a lot faster in life. You want to touch the ceiling. If the floor is always moving, there's only so much that you're going to be able to accomplish. Guys, focus on not just setting new goals. Yes, they guide and direct all your actions, but raise your standards, set new floors for yourself, And it's amazing how many more of your goals you're going to be able to hit. We'll see you at the top.